She's been twice nominated for an Indie Spirit Award. She's won the Gotham Award. You know her from Treme, from How to Get Away with Murder, from The Shy, and even the John Sayles film Goes for Sisters. And most recently from the feature film Bull. Yolanda Ross, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I guess my first question is just about how dedicated you are. I look at your work and I look at the versatility of characters you take on and your dedication to becoming each one of these very different characters I find remarkable. Because is there anything you could say about that, or where does that come from?
Well, I feel if you get the privilege to, become other people, you really do need to do the homework, bring them to life as real as you can. To me, with each one of these characters, I get to learn something. I get to feel something. So I am, letting them come through me. And within that, it's just like, I don't know, I become other people. I don't want to see Yolanda in a character when I get to play somebody else or be somebody else. And that I feel that's my job, but that's also my purpose.
It sure pays off, Yolanda.
Thank you.
Amazing body of work you've done in such a few short years, really. But I was really curious. I have a kinship with Omaha, Nebraska. Of course,
Yeah.
the birthplace of Marlon Brando, as you may know.
Hmm.
And in fact, my friend used to live in Marlon's childhood home and just recently sold it. But how did you make the transition, and how was childhood in Omaha and make that transition to New York?
It came early because I feel a lot of times when you grow up in a small city or town, I think it's sort of a choice you make early on, whether you're going to stay there or move on. Because, like, for me, I didn't know I was going to act. It wasn't a choice. So it wasn't something I was thinking about, as a child. It was like I just knew there were more things that I wanted to do than I saw in Omaha. And going to New York, I went to school for fashion merchandise. So I did different, forms of business in fashion. I made clothes, I did windows, merchandise. I was a buyer, managed stores. I just needed other opportunities that I didn't see in Omaha. So it was an easy choice to make. And when I got to New York, it proved to be what I felt it would be, just opportunities. I didn't have anything in mind specifically that I was trying to do. I was just open to what was, coming to me, and what I guess I was led. I was led. I can't say it in any other way. I was
Mhm.
led to where I am now. And as far as growing up in Omaha, I loved it. I really loved it, and I really appreciated it. I appreciated the stillness, the quiet, the which gave me time to think, to dream, to come up with things, whatever they were, and also that my parents were open to me being artistic.
The other curious question I had was, it wasn't, and certainly your breakout role in Stranger Inside was amazing.
Thank you.
Uh, that was kind of, I know you did a few cop shows. It seems everybody's intro out of New York
Yeah.
is to do those shows and then break out a little bit. But tell us a little bit about shooting Stranger Inside, because I find that's a fascinating role.
Well, you know what? This is the 20th year anniversary of it too. So there's going to be a whole big thing with Outfest that we're doing this year with Stranger Inside. Uh, it was it was only my second role. So, I did New York Undercover, and actually at the same time, I had also gotten an episode of Third Watch when I booked Stranger Inside. But it was my first film, and like I said, I just stay open to whatever is coming in front of me. And something I'd say about that time and that period in my life is it was like I made a transition from fashion into film. I had done the one role on TV and decided, when the company that I worked for in New York was closing, I'm going to use this time to, I'm going to try and do this acting thing, and that movie was the next audition that I had gotten, and it was about a month's worth of auditioning to get the part. um, I didn't have any expectations. I hadn't ever gone that far with anything, so I didn't know any different, and I got the part. So it was interesting. I would say one thing with the auditioning process, there was a moment where, and I have to give it up to Aisha Coley, where there's a moment where she turned her back on me, like physically turned her back away from me in the audition as my reader. And it really made me just kind of jump and just come at her. And I really feel like that little thing that, turned me off and made me just kind of get angry, get annoyed, get indignant, might have sold it, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, where did that come from? Because I'm usually controlled of, like, my anger, my anything. But yeah, I kind of went there in that moment and I was like, wow, I thanked her for it because I got the job. And being able to play Treasure it was incredible. It was incredible. I was that person for a little over a month. And there were so many things I had never felt as Yolonda, and it had experienced that, yeah, she's still with me. I can truthfully say that she is still with me. And I appreciated every day of it, of her and of that life. And we rolled, like us girls, we did roll together as like a group, like that group that you saw in the film. Um, and at the end of it, something that I've learned about myself, which I still do, it subconsciously, when something is about to finish. And there was a day where I put on a skirt, and I had not done that, the whole time. And I was like, in that moment, I was like, oh shoot, I think Yolanda's coming back, because it was like that wasn't part of that character's personality. And it's just interesting. But she definitely did take me over. I don't know if I answered any questions, any of your
Yeah.
questions just now, but it was a
I know
wonderful
I'm the same way.
experience.
They ask me a question and it just gets me going.
Yeah,
But wonderful work. I just can't
thank
get
you.
over how effective, the innocence and everything just blossomed on screen for us as audience. So thank you. Did that have much to do? I mean, then you go to not that it was immediate, but this yelling to the sky,
Mhm.
which I hadn't been familiar with till I saw it on your reel. And I think Jacques had a question related to that in terms of, having children and not having children, but that's a pretty tough part you played there.
Yeah, I got that up at Sundance because I was up there for the labs and I was an actor in actually somebody else's piece. And Victoria asked me to read that one. And, when I read the script, there was a part, and I hate that it was not in the actual movie, like she cut it out, but there was a part in the movie that dealt with the mother talking about what she would go through, like with her own, mental illness, because she was also, abused by the husband. Um, and so she was going through a lot. And it was, to get to play her, definitely something else that is totally not me. but I love the experience of it. And I mean, I don't know, they just all really do take me over. They take over me. And I don't know. What's the question again?
I guess it was just the fact that that yelling to the sky was such a challenging part to be the abused mother and trying to sustain a cultural difference marriage. And
Hmm.
so,
Yeah, you know what? The cultural part, it really didn't even, that really didn't factor in too much for me. It was more the what she was going through herself and in the house. And then also trying to protect your children all at the same time when you can't protect yourself, you know. That was an interesting struggle to me. Um, and I think it played out wonderfully in the film, and it's based on Victoria's own life, so that's also an interesting thing where you're then playing out moments that this person has lived through. So you want to be respectful on all levels of it. um but I do find that what I end up getting cast for many times is the people see the strength in my characters or that I bring through, but they also see the vulnerability. So I do feel very thankful that I can bring out both at the same time and not just be a one note, kind of actor.
We're talking with Yolanda Ross, actress and producer, and we'll be right back with more.